everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Forest River today, getting some updated look, see what's alive for 25 in the Salem Wildwood division. And is my personal nerdy opinion, I think that they're one of the best looking, most visually impressive trailers I've seen in a long time. And what's crazy is to say that about a, quote, just stick and tin camper. If you would have told me a couple years ago that the most dynamic, original, innovative, exciting brand in the industry today was a stick and tin camper, I'd have said no way. But what they are doing in these is fantastic. Last year, they came out with these View models, and a lot of people call it the View series. View is not a series. View is a specific set of features in floor plans. This is actually a Wildwood X-Lite or Salem Cruise Light. It goes by either name. It just happens to be of the View family within those subfamilies. What we're looking at here is something with a hidden multi-function secret room built into the slide out in a trailer that comes in just under 30 foot tip to tail, which is very, very cool. You look at it, and by default, it's like a double bunk arrangement, but they've revised and played with it a little bit now so that the bunk kind of slides away, and I'll show you later. It can create a private little office space, and what's nice about it, you just close the door at the end of the day, you leave work behind, sit down on your couch, or you have a huge countertop to be able to make a drink after work if you need, and just enjoy your time. Not to mention the campsite viewing that you can get with the square foot of window coverage on this is just crazy. Now the full, I call it Kardashian level facelift that they gave these things compared to last year, I've never seen an RV manufacturer make that big of a shift before, and I cannot wait to peel this onion apart with you. The RV's got cool points, it's got a couple you might not like, but it is, they made some serious updates compared to last year that I think you're gonna enjoy. There was a huge buzz in the industry last year when these Salem Wildwood View models came out. It actually didn't take a couple other builders a whole lot of time to run them through the RV R&D copy machine, if you're not aware. That's nerdism number 37. RV R&D doesn't stand for research and develop. It stands for rip off and duplicate. But this one doesn't seem to have been one of those that other manufacturers have taken their hand at. And I think this is probably one of my very favorite of the View trailers because it gives you a lot of the benefits in a smaller package. Like, for instance, they're a 15,000 BTU air conditioner, and last year the X-Lite View that we're in right now was not capable of accepting a second air conditioner. But with all these windows, a lot of folks had a lot of concerns. And you know what? If you live in like Texas or something, yeah, you know what? I respect that. So they did make them second air capable, which is great. And the fact is, almost every single surface and feature and fixture you look at has had some sort of touch and detail and attention applied to it. Obviously, the whole decor has been updated very nicely. And I don't know what it is. It feels like the Versa couch over here is a little more comfortable than it used to be. Now, thankfully, that does still fold down into the big sleeper like it did before. And that's one of the other really cool things about this RV. This RV is capable of sleeping like 5 to 6 adult-sized people, because when the sofa's folded down, that could sleep 1 or 2. You know, it's not super wide, so if you're cuddly with one another, you could make that work. You could put 2 adult-length people in the hidden slide bunk room that we're going to get to, and obviously you've got your front bed, which is, they call it a custom king, but basically it's an Olympic Queen mattress. The lighting on the camera is about to get funky. It doesn't do this in person, but they simplified the dimmer switch function on this now. Last year, you had to kind of hold your thumb on it and like, hurry up quick, let it go. You know, like it was some sort of skill game at the county fair, and you don't have to do that anymore. But the whole concept behind the View RVs, if you weren't aware, is, as the name implies, giving you amazing views of things. This RV has so much square foot of window coverage all over the place. But a lot of people said, yeah, it's going to make it a nightmare to keep cool. Well, the blackout window shades really help with that. And what do you think about the new window treatments? Instead of the boxy, clunky Valence and Lambrequins, they just went with these. They can be removed. You can just like soak them in a little bit of bleach water and rinse them out to clean them, which is kind of nice in case somebody gets their sticky fingers on it. To help offset again, we are now second air capable. They have the RV airflow system, and I will show you how they get the air conditioning into that private room in just a few minutes. It's actually kind of cool. You have more control over it now than you used to. This entertainment center is right in your face. Like if I get over here at like the sofa position, should you choose to add a television to it, it's amazing. But it obviously doesn't include a factory TV. In a camper like this, I wouldn't be really offended if it did, because I think that that's a pretty fair focal point. Now, some folks have watched videos on these and said, oh, it's great they got the windows, but your back is to them. It'd be great if they flipped the chair around so you could look out of it. Well, if they put the sofa on the other wall, the entertainment center would block the window. So maybe I'm missing something, but I don't understand how that would solve anything. The kitchen over here is awesome. This is one of the best kitchens I've ever seen in a travel trailer less than 30 foot. And that's the thing, remember, this is a less than 30 foot RV with a 35 to 40 foot RV kitchen. Look at all the square foot of prep space you have in this. I don't remember the hard number, but it's also all solid surface. And you might notice down here in the Cruise Light X-Lites, they don't do floor ducted heating vents. So this is very pet friendly, easy cleaning. Oops, I forgot to mention something. We're gonna have to do this live. You do have double tote storage under the sofa, by the way, and the face of that can drop down for easy access there. Sorry, I almost overlooked that. The kitchen, though. We're back to the kitchen. The kitchen is awesome for all the prep space and the window coverage and the counter space. It's great for setting up laptops, although you could possibly use this as like a mid-bunk office thing also. That countertop over there used to fold down, but it looks like they got rid of that and just made it a fixed countertop, which I think makes more sense. You've got some household outlets over there on the right. Hidden behind all the decor stuff, you have some household and USB outlets over there in that corner as well. And if I look around here, you're going to see a couple more USB outlets, like this little, not quite an appliance garage, but this little pocket. You've got a little power pocket going on over there that can kind of, get some work done. For traditional kitchen storage, though, crack it open your upper cabinets here. You've got some really nice available cabinet space. Then they dressed up the microwave because they said, you know what? Every RV like us has a microwave, and they all look the same, and we're tired of looking the same as everyone else. So they just made the microwave look cool. It doesn't function any different. It just looks cool. That's the whole point. The drawers are in a funny spot, but they kind of did what they sort of had to do with them. That's one of my only little nitpicks with the kitchen in this RV right here. You didn't get to see it, but one of the people that works here, they walked up to that window and saw me in recording. They're like, oh no! And they turned around and ran away real fast. All these windows, by the way, have those same blackout roller shades. And I want to talk about the lighting that they went to in here. I've seen similar lighting packages from some other manufacturers. Wildwood sourced a different supplier, and one of the things that I noticed is it is much, much brighter in here. So other RV manufacturers are using the same style of lighting, but they may not be quite as bright. So that's one of those things when you're RV shopping. This is actually a really good litmus test for your potential RV salesperson. Ask them if they'll turn the lights on. Like, go get a battery and hook up the RV to show you the lights in the RV. And if they're too lazy to do that, they're probably too lazy to take care of you anyway, and it's probably not a person you want to buy from anyway. Just a thing to keep in mind. Taking what do we want to do here? Let's. I realize that we looked at the kitchen, so let's crack open the refrigerator right here. That is a 12-volt DC compressor fridge, and you actually have 2 more pantries you haven't seen yet. Over there by that bathroom wall, you have a pantry in that area, but then of course you have the hidden, what do you want to call it, Versa View room? I'm not even sure if there's even a specific name for this, but you have this hidden multi-function room in here. You're going to see in a second, you actually have either more clothing space or potentially another pantry built right in there as well. But I told you I would show you how they get air conditioning into this. What's interesting is they actually have a custom air duct that comes down from the ceiling, and there's a fan system to pull the air out of that. Now remember, this has, your central air is a 15,000 BTU, and it does benefit from the RV airflow system, which is something very well respected aftermarket to reduce noise and enhance airflow. Which, by the way, I'm gonna put the camera right up next to the air conditioner. Listen. That is the Coleman Mach Q Series Air with the RV airflow system at maximum crank. That's as loud as it gets. I'm way louder than that, actually. I could probably do to quiet down a little bit, but these things excite me. I think camping is fun. So they pump air in there, but the thing is, what they did this last year, when you turned it on, it was like Katy Perry floated down, it was like, and to be fair, if you listen to this, it's still fairly loud. And this says dimmer, but listen here. I'm hoping the camera picks that up. They give you a speed control on that, so you can crank the volume of it up or down. Now, this looks a little bit funny. You're like, why are there TV hookups in here? Because if you want to mount a TV on the back of this, so that when you close the door, you have built-in TV for the bunk space, you can do that too. The thing is, though, this is a really weird-looking space. These models are very, very cool, but they come with some odd caveats. I like how each bunk has its own viewing window that opens for airflow. The bunks, though, get a little slimmer when you get around the corner, and it looks really funny. And it's what I'm going to call like a mummy bunk. When you lay in it, you kind of feel like you're all in one kind of straight line, but it's long. It's something that an adult-sized person can actually lay in. This upper bed, by the way, is 300-pound rated. Now, upper and lower bunks both have USB plugs. This one also has household, because if you notice, you can convert this over into a office space, and they even include like a handy little stool to kind of drive that point home and simulate that. But again, right behind the TV, either bunk room storage or dedicated second pantry space built right into this. So that's the whole thing. All of these spaces, all these functions, they can be and do whatever you want them to, which I think is kind of cool. And if you ever have a bunch of annoying guests come over and they want to stay for too long, just take that little office stool and flip it upside down, and now you got a space for 4 of them to sit. They'll probably vacate shortly. I love all the radius shape work that they're doing, just gives it some shape and character. The bathroom is not massive. Like the space around the toilet, it's angled in the corner just right. It's okay. I can make it work. I like, again, the radius angle work going on with that mirror. I think that looks very cool. I did notice this bathroom suffers from a lack of places to hang towels. So you're going to want to kind of keep that in mind, unless you want to just drape them over the shower door when you're done. It's also easy to miss. Let me get this guy out of the way. You do have yourself lipid storage in here, which is kind of handy dandy. It is a corner radius shower, though, and I'm trying to figure out how I can stuff myself into the bathroom to showcase this. If you notice, I'm a little bit over 6 foot. I'm wearing shoes. The RV is 6.5 feet tall from floor to ceiling. That means that my head has to be in the skylight. And I know that a lot of people don't love this. I hope you appreciate how I'll go out of my way to talk about things people don't like. But they had to kind of do it for space reasons. To keep this RV in that 30-foot target, they had to do that. Now, if you want a little more space, you're like, well, what if they extended the RV? Well, they make a second one called the 29 view, and it already does those things. I don't hate how they put all the controls up high away from the kids, but I'm also over 6 foot tall. It's 6.5 foot up to the ceiling panel. Is that too high, or is that okay? I don't know. Let me know. This does have a sliding pocket privacy door here. And again, remember, this is, they call it a custom king, because the RV industry is hell-bent on inventing new beds. It is a 66 by 78 mattress. A 66 by 80, almost the exact same size, is an Olympic queen. It's practically an Olympic queen, which is what I prefer to call it. TV hookups, big breeze window, which is awesome. And they obviously rearranged their bedroom storage this year. Both sides of the bed have shelving with household and USB outlets. It's a little more obvious and easy to see now. But you actually drop down into a single closet. I hear from a lot of people, though, they're like, I don't need tons of hanging storage in an RV. I'm okay with shelf space. Well, to each their own. Everyone does it a little bit differently. So I guess let me know what you think about this. There's also tote storage below the bed we'll get to. And they now have the little four-legged furry friend pet step, It does eat up space around the bed, but it also, if you're a pet camper, makes it a little bit easier to get to. The cabinets above the bed are strutted in the X-Lite Cruise Lite series, which is nice. And the bed's also on that Versatilt bed system. So it's a push button power system, power incline, decline, basically, where it can create a daytime lounge space or give you a little more room to get dressed, and obviously easy lift access storage below. Make sure you have the bed in the down position before trying to access the storage below that. Now, this new Power Gear slide system, look how fast it moves. And listen, it's not screaming loud. The thing is though, this floor plan, when everything closes up, because that slide's way deeper than you realize, it's a full big deep super slide. Look how we could do that in real time, how fast that was. It means that the kitchen is basically shot. You can't really get to it. And because of the orientation of that bunk door, I don't even know if a little kid would be able to climb around the sofa to open the door to climb into it from the other side. I kind of feel like maybe that door should open from the other direction, although even then, I don't know that you're gonna have a lot of space to get into it. But again, this Power Gear system, it is simple, fast, easy. One of the other cool parts about it is, let's say you do want to use it for cargo load in transit, it's a little bit better system for doing something like that, because right under the slide there's rollers, so the slide is always supported. And another question people had last year all over the place, but I didn't have data for it until recently, was how well does the air conditioning actually handle that middle room, or that hidden room? Well, at your request, I asked Wildwood about that, and initially for most of last year they didn't have an answer. This year they finally had a chance to take it to a heat chamber, and what they found is that with the roof air cranking and with the fan on high, with it, I think 119 degrees outside, they were able to maintain something in the 70s in this cavity. Now that's gonna be windows shut, that's gonna be all the fans and everything maxed, but 109 or 119, very hot outside, and they were able to keep it, I think, reasonable in there. It was frankly better than I expected, but then again, it's a small space, it doesn't take a lot to cool it down. So the way that we have this one packed in here, I'm gonna have to go about it in a couple different chunks, but hey, that's pretty normal. Anyway, looking at the weights and the measures here, some people are gonna call this half-ton towable, some are not. I think the answer is going to depend on the specific capacities of your truck and where you tow it. Because, you know, towing through mountains versus towing through flatlands without wind is two very different scenarios. If you're gonna tow a lot or through adverse terrain up and down hills, you're gonna want probably a beefier truck. You're gonna go short distances flatland, half ton with a good tow package, could probably get it done. Now, most of your Salem Cruise Lights and Wildwood X-Lights by default will have that, well, at least for 2025, that retro kind of extra thick tin skin. The View models absolutely will not. View models always have the fiberglass skin package, the 200-watt solar panel, the RV airflow system that we talked about on the inside to really help it maintain maximum cooling and efficiency, because it's a tricky nut that they're cracking here. It is still an aluminum nose sweep, but tell me, you forget that this is a stick-built camper. Did you remember that by looking at it? Because I've had to remind myself a couple times, and I know these trailers very, very well inside and out. You do have a good full pass-through compartment. We've got some power cords obviously stuck in here, but you've got a nice good full pass-through, which is always, always handy. You also have an enclosed heated belly, and I want to stress the heated part because your X-Lite Cruise Lights did not used to have heated bellies. They were only enclosed, and you know, you go back far enough, they weren't even that before. But they've also added some exterior effect lighting. Now, originally, if you look at this specific RV, you'll see a third one of those lights behind the camp kitchen door. That's gonna go away. We're looking at a prototypey kind of thing. It seems like manufacturers call me a lot when they have a functional prototype to get some customer input before they kind of fine tune things. So I guess thank you folks for sharing your opinion. Manufacturers seem to appreciate it and they invite us down to get a look at these. But the glow beam lighting below the giant window and above the front baggage door, those are gonna stay. Also, you have the exact same kind of lighting under the awning so it just casts more light into outside. But the extra glow beam in the back, they're going to get away from, because it just, some floor plans, it was just causing problems. You just couldn't always do it. Don't love the outside speaker location on this one. And I hope you appreciate, you know, as much as I like this thing, there's things I also don't like about it. At least the JBL speakers sound nice, but I prefer them when they're mounted down low. Like, they could have hidden them behind the sofa, and nobody would have really been aware, I suppose. You do have a little mini camp kitchenette over here with Dad's medicine cabinet. That, by the way, very handy for the bottled water and the barley pop with your gas grill quick connect below. They've also gone to a tankless on-demand water heater, and that's a 60,000 BTU. What that means is it can raise the temperature coming of the water coming in 59 degrees from ambient. So if it's summertime and the water is pretty warm, you know, at like a park or in your holding tank, it'll get that water really scalding hot. But if you're camping when it's really stupid cold, it can only get that water at best 59 degrees hotter than what's in the tank or coming in. So it may be a little bit warm in some cases. The big windows off the back of this, I'm a sucker for them. I'm a sucker for giant kitchen windows because it reminds me of growing up with my grandparents. Well, my parents raised me, but visiting my grandparents. I do want to point out though, again, sharing good with bad, this RV does have 2 sewer outlets. That outlet right there is exclusively for the rear kitchen gray tank, whereas in front of the slide, you'll have your bathroom black and gray. But it doesn't matter what side of the RV you're on. You have awesome window coverage on this thing, and thankfully the tinted aspect of the windows has become standard. But if you look, you can't see any sort of gear mechanism on the slide, and because it exists above the floor, it's not rack and pinion. You see that little gold colored thing right there? That is the giveaway that this is a variety of power gear system. It's, again, I mentioned it inside. It's a motorhome slide. And in this model, where you may want to travel stop and, you know, put the kids to sleep in that bunk, having that slide system allowing you to do that is a massive, massive improvement from what they were originally dabbling with on these. But because the rear corner of it is all glass and windows, they didn't want you covering it up with a ladder. So they moved the ladder hookup over here. Now the ladder's not included, it's prepped for one, but you know, you can obviously throw a ladder on there. And again, just for quick housekeeping, that glow beam over here on the driver's side is going to go away so that you don't accidentally leave it on and cheese off the neighbors. So what do you think of all the updates here? I was immediately impressed with what I saw. I liked these last year. I thought they were very, very cool. What they're doing now though, I think that they've kicked it up yet another notch. And I was kind of wondering, like, where do you go from here? Well, they answer that question for me. And in case you're curious where to go from here, check the link in the video description. I've got links down there for pricing and availability, which at some point, whether you're curious or serious, you might want to know, and it's one click away where you never have to call a salesperson to get a price tag on anything. So until next time, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing for you, and take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.